Hello, welcome to another edition of Arizona Wildcats Insiders Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Hutchison, and we are getting close to Arizona's 2025 college football season as Arizona will kick things off against Hawaii from Arizona Stadium on TNT. Two programs that were coached by legendary coach Dick Tomey will be opening things off. It's kind of special. I would look at it as like a Tomey classic. He built both programs up, first building up Hawaii, then leaving for Arizona and having an illustrious career with the Wildcats, having two 10-win seasons, multiple bowl games, the greatest season in U of A history in 1998, going 12-1, capped off with a 23-20 win over Nebraska in the Holiday Bowl. That's when Nebraska was an absolute powerhouse of a program, finishing number 4 in the AP poll. And obviously leaving the legacy of the Desert Swarm defense, Joanne Aquina, Rich Ellerson, and others on that defensive staff with Dick Tomey, creating that great defense that was one of the best running defenses of all time, spearheaded by Teddy Bruschi and Rob Waldrop up front. So we are getting closer to the 2025 season, meaning Arizona is in the middle of its training camp. This is year 2 for Brett Brennan, and second year with Brett Brennan is Noah Fafita entering year 4 after a redshirt year his freshman year. Last year was kind of underwhelming during the 2024 season with a 4-8 record. Noah Fafita throwing 18 touchdown passes and 12 interceptions, getting sacked 28 times. Arizona's offense really couldn't get things rolling after the New Mexico game where it scored 61 points. From that point on, Arizona averaged less than 20 points per game. Just kind of snowballed, losing 7 of its last 8 games to end the season, falling short of a bowl game after starting off number 21 in the AP poll, preseason AP poll. So it's a very underwhelming year. Brett Brennan has went about trying to correct those mistakes with changes on the coaching staff, looking at Seth Dagey as the new offense coordinator from Marshall, where he had the 20th ranked rush offense in the country. Danny Gonzalez, former linebacking coach, getting promoted to the defensive coordinator, has had success at San Diego State underneath Rocky Lawn at ASU. Before becoming the head coach of New Mexico, he's been a successful defense coordinator and one of the better recruiters on the defensive side of the ball as well. Joe Salavea coming in, trying to fix the defensive line. The former Wildcat was part of that Desert Swarm defense and was a fierce member of that defensive line. So he has come back and tried to fix the defensive line and also kind of give a boost to the Wildcats in terms of recruiting with the Polynesian and Samoan population. So they're getting ready for the season, meaning we're going through training camp and we are counting down the days. We are at day 26 away from the college football season. And, training camp has been pretty interesting this year. You're seeing a new offensive system, new defensive scheme, but there seems to be a sense of calm in comparison to last year. Brennan said it during Big 12 Media Day. I almost said Pac-12, Big 12 Media Day, saying that he doesn't feel like they're trying to kiss people's asses and get them to stay on the team. That's a direct quote from Brennan. And I think you kind of got that sense that they're kind of tiptoeing around during training camp, trying to get everybody to stay on the roster. Now they know these players want to be here. They want to play for Brett Brennan. They want to play for the team. They want to play for Arizona. They're not leaving, so you're not tiptoeing around as much, and you're getting more install done. It's different energy. It felt kind of slow pace last season with Dino Babers as the offense coordinator, and then it felt kind of sporadic at times on the defensive side of the ball in terms of training camp itself. This seems a lot more organized. There's a direction. There's a sense of what they want to do, and it's high tempo. It's high speed. It's go, 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 go. They've ended camp early a couple days. Just this past day, they did not end early, but and it's not ending early to cut time in half. It's ending early because they're getting through stuff. The offense is getting through stuff. The defense is getting through stuff. And they're running and gunning. So it's an exciting time for Arizona. I think this offense fits Noah Fafita a little bit better than the Dino Babers offense, which was pretty vanilla. That offense kind of could put a cup of coffee to sleep. And this is more modern and more new aged, and I think has essentially direction of what it wants to be. But training camp has been going well. Three things that I really want to talk about One being the kicking game. Last year, Tyler Loop, one of the best kickers in U of A football history, had a phenomenal career and is in line to be the place kicker for the Baltimore Ravens, being a field goal kicker as well, after getting drafted by the Ravens this past NFL draft. So that's a big hole to fill. And throughout training camp, we've seen guys like Michael Salgado Medina and son of a former Wildcat, Tyler Pashu, and I might be butchering that name. It's a unique name, but kicking and competing for the starting kicking job. Mind you, they brought in Ian Wagner to kind of compete for the kicking job, but he's been more of a snap holder for the kickers, and he's been more of the kickoff guy. So that big leg of his, I think, is going to be very useful for kickoffs and stuff like that. But right now, it's Michael Salgado Medina and Tyler that are competing there. Both have had their ups and downs. One's a freshman, so that's going to be interesting to see. I think right now, if I had to give an edge, it'd be Michael Salgado Medina. But we'll see how this plays out. I think it's one of those interesting battles in camp that's going to go down to the final week of training camp. Number two thing is receiving blocking. Flat out last season, Arizona had horrible blocking at the receiver position. They tried to run the screen game in the Dino Babers offense. They tried to get Tetero McMillan out with the ball outside, and it just didn't work. Every time they threw it to him, it was a 5-yard loss or at the line of scrimmage. It wasn't a good play, and yet it was being run consistently, and you just didn't have the horses to block. Their blocking was very soft, and they seemed timid at times. This year in training camp, you have a Trey Spivey, you have a Brandon Phillips who is healthier than last year, but even other guys like Chris Hunter, Javion Watley, Luke Weisson, guys that they brought in, they're physical. They may be small in stature, some of these guys, but they're physical wide receivers, and they block really well. So I think that's going to be a critical part of the Seth Doege offense in terms of, is it going to be like, Sonny Dykes, get the ball out quick, get it in the screen, Mike Leach, air raid offense, and your screen game's your running game? No, I don't think that's going to be the case. But I think it's going to be a critical part of this offense and something for Arizona fans to watch. You're going to see probably middle screens, halfback screens, tight end screens. I think you're going to see a lot of creativity with Seth Doege, and the screen game is going to be a part of that. So you're going to need those blockers to hold those blocks and help you get those 5-yard gains downfield, because once you do that, all of a sudden you hit a screen and it's 50-plus yards to the house. Those quick hitters like that, you never know how long they can go. And then lastly is punt return. Last year Arizona was okay at it. They weren't the best. They weren't the worst. I do believe they did have a fumble last season, but it wasn't horrid. But it's an area in which Arizona can improve. And we saw during spring practice, Luke Weisson, we saw Javion Watley, who else did we see? Chris Hudson was there. Jeremiah Patterson was there, and one other name that's escaping me, and I think it was from the running back room, and Ismail Mahdi, taking kicks. Now that list has trimmed down to 3, and the main 3 are Jeremiah Patterson, which kind of shocks me. Fast dude, fast guy, but he was one of the ones that I believe fumbled last season and just really never got things going, but he is part of that group. Javion Watley, who I think has some of the best hands in the receiving corps, so it makes sense and can make a guy miss on a dime in terms of his route running and when he has the ball in his hands. So you put that in the punter position, punt return position. I think that's a good fit there. And Chris Hudson, who has the best hands on the team, isn't as twitchy, I think, as Javion Watley, but has breakaway speed, has sneaky speed. Just a veteran dude that's been around the block and understands football. So I think those are the 3 right now. If I had to pick one off the top of my head right now, I'd go with Javion Watley, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's Jeremiah Patterson or Chris Hudson. I think we have a long way to go, and I think when you get into practice week, you're going to see that position solidify itself. I think it will be solidified before, but I don't think they're going to give anything away until they get into practice week and they're getting ready for Hawaii. But we'll have many more updates as training camp rolls along. Be sure to follow us on Arizona Wildcats on SI. That is our page, our website. Also, click the follow button on Twitter at Arizona Wildcats on SI, or follow me, Troy Hutchison, at THutch1995 for more training camp updates, articles, and everything you need to know about Arizona athletics.